cool. Are you on GPB? You got live on GPB, man?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Hey, I can see us.
Can you? Cool.
Yes, I can.
You just monitor the amount of
yes, I'm
okay, I want to share this onto my group. Okay, I'm done. Okay, I can't see the number of people that have logged on, so you can just let us know when there's a couple of people that are on.
okay, 100%. I'll do that for you. Oh, wow, dude, it says there's 15, 17 people. How's it, guys? Hello, hello. How's it, gents and ladies and all our viewers? Thank you so much for joining us. We are a bit early. We've decided that we're going to preempt this day and not struggle at all and have everything set up and getting ready so that we don't have any unwanted issues that came about last week. So thank you. We really appreciate the fact that you guys are logging in and that you are here. If there's anyone that wants to ask some questions in the comment section, you are welcome. I've got a laptop here in front of me, and I'm going to be chatting with everyone on that side. So, hey, Mr. Anderson.
Hey, man. How's it going, guys? Welcome to
hello.
Welcome to Create. Hopefully we're going to have a little bit of fun, and I know we're a little bit early. I've just been setting up the light and all that kind of stuff so we can get going. So are there people joined already?
Yes. We have a few people already joining in. There's a few people saying, how's it? I'm just going to be typing in respond to them quick. But yes, dude, we have a few people joining. So thank you again. This is lekker, man.
Okay, so let me just, we'll chat about what we're going to shoot today. First, we'll chat about the gear. So down here, I've got my C stand with the 8600 on a boom. And then I've got the Godox, as you can see, I've got the Godox P120H. So it's quite a big parabolic octa, which has got quite a lot of directional light. But what we're doing today is these are this is the internal diffuser, and this is the outside diffuser. So we've taken these off. So inside this light, I can show you. See if you can see this. Okay, so there you can see inside the light there is nothing, there's no diffuser here. So the 600 is shooting straight out of this this para. So the light we're going to get out of here is
just before you carry on, Craig, sorry. Just before you carry on, I'd just like to check with you. If you stand in front of that softbox and you open your arms, how wide is that thing? How big is it? Show us. That is a massive softbox.
It's massive, eh? Yeah. So it's a massive octa. So when you're working with it, and traditionally what you would do with this Octa is use both of these diffusers. Okay, both of these diffusers would fit in here. So the one would fit inside here, and then the other one would fit on the outside. And then the light that you get from that is extremely soft because it's so massive. So you've got a beautiful soft light that's going to wrap around the subject that we're going to do, that we're photographing. But when you take it off, the light obviously becomes a little bit harder. And I know that if you've watched me shoot before, I quite fancy my hard light setup. So the experiment today is, can we shoot this Octa without the diffusers in it? And what kind of images are we going to get? Okay, so that's the inside of it.
So why would you now decide? Why would you decide that it's a good idea to take the way that this thing has been designed and then rip out its innards and shoot with it like that?
Because that's what I love doing. I love to see what else I can do with my stuff, you know. Otherwise, it just becomes a one-hit wonder, you know. You kind of end up using the light and the diffuser and everything for the exactly the same thing every time you shoot. So I'm trying to find out with my kit, what other looks can I get from the one light? So I know what I can get with the light when it's got the diffusers in. I'm just not sure what it's going to look like when I take the diffusers out. So today might be a complete waste of time. And at the end of the session, we might say, well, that doesn't really work. Or we're going to say, well, cool, I can then shoot with this Octa without the baffles in, because it's going to give me a very different look to when the baffles are in. So that's what the day is about, is experimental. So as we did last week, we've got Molly with us. Hello. So that's Molly. Molly's going to be doing, obviously doing all the nice poses for us. And yeah, so that's gonna work quite nicely. As you can see in the studio, the whole studio is very white, okay? So what I've got here at the back is my V-flats. So I'm shooting against a black background. And then on the right-hand side of Molly, I've got a black one as well. So I'm trying to limit the amount of light that's going to be coming back at her. So this one is going to absorb a lot of the light because I want shadow on here. So I want quite a high contrast with Molly. So the light is going to be falling on this side, and this side I want as dark, not black dark, but I don't want any light reflecting from the wall back onto Molly's face. Then it's going to lose the kind of feel that I want for the shot. Then, of course, I'm tethered to my. What we'll do is we'll do some shots, and once I've done those shots, we can then I'll share my screen with you, Gerard, and then I can show you the shots that we're getting from the light setup. We're going to move the light a little bit around as we shoot. So we'll shoot a little bit from this side. We'll shoot it from the front. So we'll play around with the light. We'll shoot it against the white wall and see what that looks like. I've also got the 8300 here. So if anybody wants to see what shots we get with this, or what we can get with this, I'm happy to just flip it around and shoot with this for a little bit. I'm going to shoot it with the 7-inch reflector though, so I'm not going to put any softbox on this. I'm going to go, this whole session is going to be about hard, soft light, you know, it's sort of in the middle of hard and soft light with that big Octa, and then this will be very hard light, and we'll just see what kind of images we get. So like, have some fun, you know, so that's it.
So you spoke about high key and low key photography the other day. So high key, can you just explain to me? I'm not very clued up about this stuff, but high key and low key, what would be the difference between those two things, and why do you call it high key?
Okay, so high key, So haki, you're shooting, it's almost, the subject's almost overexposed a little bit. It was quite well used back in the 60s when they used to really get the skin to be almost close to being whited out, you know, almost, so it's very bright. Lots of people like to use haki in their photographs because it's very forgiving on the skin. So you have to do very little amount of post when you've got a haki image on your portrait, if that's what you're going for. And we'll shoot some of the photographs we'll do today will be haki. Low-key, on the other hand, is kind of very dark and moody. So it's almost slightly underexposed, the photo. So it's a lot darker, and you're trying to convey two different kinds of messages in your photo. So I can shoot Molly haki and low-key, and she'll be dressed in the same outfits, but they'll give completely different look and feel to the photo at the end when you edit it. So I kind of decide in the beginning of the shoot what we're going to go for. Very seldom do I mix it up. Very seldom do I start with a haki and then end with a low-key. If it's going to be a haki photo shoot, and then I kind of haki it the whole way through. If it's a low-key and moody and, you know, that kind of a feel that you're going for, I tend to shoot through that. So, yeah, I don't want to be shooting today low-key and haki and that kind of stuff. I think, you know, I've got something that I want to do here today, and I just want to share it with you guys. So any questions regarding the setup here and, you know, having a look at the photographs and asking questions like that, I think will be fantastic. Okay.
Awesome.
Are we raring to go?
So it is a minute past 11. So if we want to, we can launch into it, because now we're in our official time slot now.
Okay. All right. So once again, welcome for those guys who have joined. I've set up my camera. I'm shooting with my D4. I've got
Mr. Anderson, just before you launch, did you pin your screen to the top? Yeah, so pin your screen to the top, and then let's do this thing. People don't need to see me.
Okay, I think that's working now. I think it's only me that you're seeing, hopefully. All right, so what we have here, I'm shooting with my D4. I'm shooting with my Nikon 70-200, 2.8. The lens, shooting with my trigger, my X-Pro trigger, which is triggering the 8600. I'm tethered, so we're going to be seeing the shoot on the screen, and then once I've got a couple of photos, I will then share that screen with you, and then you can see how we get the looks that I'm going to get. Okay, so firstly, what I do is I will normally take one, possibly two test shots, and then I'll go back into Lightroom, and then I'll try and get the look that I'm trying to get in Lightroom. Once I've set that up and I've set that, and I've seen that there's no clipping or anything like that, or the lighting on there is great, I might add one of my presets on there through Lightroom and see what the end result is going to be like. And then once I'm happy with that, and I'll go through those little things with you, once I'm happy with that, I will then, we'll just carry on with the shoot. Once I've dialed that in, so that can take a couple of minutes just to dial it in, basically choosing the preset or the look that I want for the shoot, and then we'll go from there. And then once I've done that, pretty much that's the kind of shoot we're going to get. Okay, so let's give it a go. I'm shooting on my tripod today, which is also a very different thing for me. I like to move around in my photo shoots, but I think for what we're doing today, this is perfect, because I can dial in my my composition and then just keep the composition there all the time. So that also makes for a good thing. So we're always seeing the right things. Watch your eyes. Yeah, don't engage with me. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so let's do one of these. And let's just see if that's come out okay. All right, okay. I mean, there we go. Flat out first time is looking pretty good. So let me share this with you.
So you just literally sat down now, you pointed your camera at your model, you went bang, and you're happy with, almost happy with what you did.
Yeah, pretty much. So what happens is when you work, I work a lot in my studio, so, and I understand my camera quite well, so I can almost set up what I think is going to be a right setting for me in here. And then what it will depend on and what would change would be, firstly, the skin of the model. What is that like? You know, is it darker or lighter? Which would then I would adjust my setting, and then also what she's wearing. I would then maybe adjust the setting, because that's all going to make impact on the exposure on the face. So once I get that all sorted out and what the reflection is like on her face, I'll pretty much dial it in. So I'm happy with the exposure at the moment. I've obviously shot Molly a few times, so I kind of know where we're going with her. So that's why it was quite easy for me to do. So on the screen we've got Molly. So this was the test photo that I've taken. I am just going to whack on a preset, one of my presets that I've made. To see which one is going to work the best for me, and then it could be quite nice. So just have a look at another one. So this is pretty much the workflow that I would go through. Okay, maybe that. Kaylin. Okay.
So you say these are all your presets that you've already made. So those different files that you have in your Lightroom that you then operate from?
Yeah, so what's happening here is I create my own presets. So for example, if you look down here on the side, you'll see names of models here. So you've got Anastasia, you've got Bianca, you've got Carmen, Carolyn, Dominique, Gabby, Hannah, Molly, Lizanne, Nia. So what I've done there is, when I photographed them, I've created a look specifically for them. And when I like that look, I will then save that as a preset. And then I would then use it to see whether it will work on any of my other shoots. If one of them do work, then I will use that preset to get me to where I want to be a lot quicker. So therefore my editing process is then quite quick, because I'll get quite a big head start on it. So if you can see what I've done here, I've taken the photograph of Molly, and I've got onto Kaylin. So this was a preset that I created for Kaylin when I shot her. And I think it works quite nicely for this photo. So I'm going to start off here choosing this preset for her. And now what I can do is I can just fiddle around with this and get it to where I'm wanting to be. So I can maybe keep the shadows there, maybe make this a little bit slightly
I must
brighter
admit,
there.
it's very impressive to see what you can do with all those little buttons that you move left and right there, how it changes the entire feel of the photograph.
Yeah, no, listen. It's nice just to experiment. You can see there, I've got my clipping mask on. So you can see that if I play with the exposure, let's move it up. You can see I'm getting to about a stop. Nearly a stop and 3/4. And there I start. So at like 2.5 stops, I've got still left to play with this before I start blowing out the details. So when you see these red little markings on here, it means that there's no information in there, so it's blown out. So you can see I'm well within my dynamic range of the camera. So I can play around quite a lot with it. So let's just crank up a little bit of this. Okay.
Now,
So
if you didn't have that preset, sorry, Craig, if you didn't have that preset already there that you're using, how much time would it take you to get to this point where you started from now?
No, not too long, man. I mean, I've got to, so the key is that I understand what's going on in my Lightroom, and I've got a picture in my mind of what I want it to look like. So for example, today, I would have had a look in mind that I want to get from Molly. I would then go through my presets. If I didn't find one that I liked, I would then go and create one for this shoot. Okay. And I would say that would take me maybe 5 minutes to do it, to get to the kind of feel that I'm wanting with it. Often what I would do is I would consult with the model as well. So if I couldn't find a preset for today, I would kind of make something up. I would call up Molly and we'd look at it and we'd both kind of agree on, yes, that's the kind of feel or that's the kind of look that we're wanting to go. And then that would be it. So it would take me maybe 5 minutes to start from scratch. However, if you look at my presets here, I've got tons of them. So every time I've created a black and white that I've liked or a color one that I've liked, I've saved it out specifically with that model's name on it. So, but then it works for that particular shoot. So I've created a preset, for example, for Molly. It's a color photo. But depending on what we shoot, Molly's color preset doesn't work with all the photo shoots. So there isn't one photo shoot or many photo shoots that are going to fit with one. So if I shoot Molly outside or if I shoot her inside with lights, there's going to be a different set of presets that I'm going to use. So if I've shot Molly and I've got a preset for Molly and it's an outdoor preset, can you hear that hooter?
Yeah, it seems like someone is really impressed with you. They want to get your attention.
And that's just flipping radical.
Oh, well, it's all right. It's not too intrusive, so don't stress about it too much.
So I've created a preset, for example, for Molly, which I've shot. I think it's an outdoor preset, but it might not work when I put it under lights in the studio. So I create a whole lot of stuff, and they're interchangeable, and I will go through them to find out the ones that I like. Okay, so
it's just very interesting to see how different photographers have got their own system on hand, and the whole thing that you designed yourself to make your own situation just work so much easier. Yeah. It's very cool.
I mean, if you look here, you can see, if I just rip through these, you can see how it changes the different presets that will work with this. As I click on them, they will show you how it changes the mood of the photo. So let's find unfortunately, Molly's preset isn't on this, the studio Lightroom. It's on the one at home. So you can see as we change it, there's a different feel to the thing. So that's the one we've chosen. Okay.
Cool. Okay, so now you're gonna start pretty much.
Yeah, I'm going to just do a couple of shots here. We'll just do some poses and a couple of shots, and then we can have a look and see how they come out. Just stop me if there's any questions and stuff like that. Okay. So watch
All
your
right,
eyes.
100%.
We'll do some looking away from the camera, and then some kind of long neck and looking into the light and things like that. I'm going to shoot relatively slowly, so it's not like a big flipping rush. So the great thing is we've got all set up here. Okay, love that. Okay, let's move a bit. Just change poses as you are. Let's just not keep. Love, love. Okay, keep moving, sweetie. Yeah. Yeah, love. Yeah. Love it. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, nice engagement. Love it. Let's look towards a little bit to the lights and just extend that neck for me. Watch the eyes. There we go. Love that. Yeah, there we go. Beautiful. 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 Okay, let's do a little bit. Let's look a little bit away. Chin down a bit for me. There we go. Let me just get my focus point. There we go. Love, 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 love. Nice. Love that. Okay. Okay, so that looks quite cool. Let me share this again, and hopefully you can see. I'll run through the photos. Okay, so this was our starter photo. You can come and have a look if you want. So this was our starter photo, and then this is the ones that we are starting to shoot. So this was the set that I've done. You can see I've still got my my clipping mask on, so you'll see her necklace is clipping, but I'm not really worried about that. Okay, there's a dad. So you can see very simple type photos. I love that photo. Yeah, and that's very, very cool. So yeah, we've got one light set up. Can we just watch the hands there? Okay, so you can see you're casting a shadow there. So we just watch out where the light is, but otherwise very nice. I love that.
Yeah, that's a very cool shot, eh?
Yeah, and that's you can see. So this is the kind of thing that we would do. I don't always shoot tethered, but once I've done a set of photos, I will again go through some of the photos with the model, just so that you can see what she's doing and what the photos are looking like, and you know whether we're getting the look and feel that we want. I like that.
So now in this instance, the model is Molly. How long has she been doing this work for?
She came in here this morning at about 10:30.
Yes, not today.
I started doing freelance modeling about, I would say, 4 years ago. Yeah, but I've been doing self-portraits for about 10 years. So I've always enjoyed being in front of a camera. So yeah.
That's amazing. So is modeling like a main thing for you, or is it just like an additional income, or just something that you love?
I'm very passionate about it, and I am hoping to make a career out of it one day. But at the moment, I am also focusing on other means of making an income, such as my fitness. But I am very passionate about my modeling. Yes.
That's awesome.
How long have you worked here?
I moved here in April, I think maybe like June, July.
Yeah, we started shooting together in about, I think our first shoot was about June. So it's been a couple of months since we worked together, but we've done some really, really cool stuff together. So yeah, it's been a great journey. Molly's very good. She's very expressive, and she's got a very good way of conveying mood and stuff. So it's so easy to work with her. And I think we miss that a lot when we're starting out as photographers. You know, we're not fortunate enough to work with girls or models that are experienced. And working with an experienced model is a hell of a lot easier. You can pretty much convey an idea to Molly and then it just kind of happens, you know. So in other times you have to really kind of sit down and try and shoot a lot of photos before you get to the mood and the look that you're wanting to feel. And that's just the different experiences that the model has. So sometimes, you know, it might be as an up-and-coming photographer. I know I did that when I was starting out. It's sometimes much better for you to go and pay somebody to come and shoot, for you to shoot, somebody that's got experience, because it is quite invaluable to do that. So there is a massive difference between shooting the girl that's next door or your cousin or your friend or whatever, and then shooting with somebody like Molly. So you learn a lot. You learn a lot as a photographer when you're doing stuff like that. Okay, so I like this. Any questions on these photos, Bud? Are they...
So far, nothing much. We've got 10 people viewing at the moment, so thank you guys. We're really enjoying your company here today. Thanks for joining us. And yeah, geez, we're enjoying your shoot so far. I'm enjoying learning all these different things that you do.
Okay, so the last set of photographs, we had the light sort of 45 degrees to Molly. So she had a shadow on the one face and then lit on this side of her face. So what we're going to do now is we're going to change it up a bit, and we're going to shoot a sort of a more beauty kind of lighting, which is directly in front. And it's a much more even light that we're going to get on here. So I just want to do another test shot here. Sorry, let's do it again. I just want to see what that looks like. Oh, okay, it's flipping rad. Okay, so again, how easy was this? I've changed nothing. Okay. And when I say I've changed nothing, I mean I've changed no settings on my camera. I've changed no settings on the light. All I've done is I've moved the light from camera right, and I've moved it sort of directly in front of Molly, which gives me a completely different light spill on her. And I'm going to show you these photos now because they look flipping amazing.
Okay, so when you say that you've moved it now to the front of Molly, so how far is she from the front of the softbox at the moment?
Okay, so about 2 meters, 1.5, 1.7 meters away. So it's this. Okay. I would imagine it's a little bit closer than when it was over here. No, maybe not. So it's maybe the same distance from her, but it's just moved from this section to there. Okay.
Okay, that's very interesting that you've only changed the angle of the light. It's going to be very interesting to see the different photos now.
Yeah, I'm going to take a couple of pics and then we'll go through the photos.
Cool.
And we can see the difference. Okay, so this is kind of more like there. Okay, love that. Beautiful. Love that. Love. Love. Love that. Sure. Let's sit side on with that chair a little bit. No, just keep it like that. You're just going to turn a little bit like that to me. Yeah, there we go. Beautiful. Love that. Love it. Stunning. Hey. Okay, sure. Okay, I think these were flipping great. Yeah, best I didn't put my sunglasses on. I just want to get rid of some of these that didn't fire. So we don't.
So you now roughly took about what, 20 pictures or so?
I'll tell you now. I'm just. Let me just remove these. Okay. That's our first one.
Quite a
No.
dramatic empty look we have there with the chair in front of the black backdrop, sitting there screaming, "Love me, love me."
So here we go. So here is the first photo of that set. So this was the image. Let's go back. This is the image with the light coming from the side. You can see the shadows on the left of the image. And then what we did was we moved the light to the front, and now you can see we're getting quite a high key feel on Molly's face, but it looks great. We asked how many pictures I took. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 pictures. So that was that. And we're getting this kind of feel.
That's amazing to see the difference that only changing the angle of the light does to the shots. It is truly stunning.
Yeah, it's very, very nice. And you see what we're getting with this Octa without this baffle in. The light is quite hard. You can see the shadow here that's falling underneath her onto her neck from her chin. You can see it's quite a hard shadow. If I had those baffles in, it would be a very, very different photo. But you can also see how nicely it's kind of chiseling Molly's face here with a shadow falling quite nicely down her cheeks, which I quite like. It gives a very different feel. If you've got the baffles in, this would be a little bit more lighter because the light would have wrapped a little bit more around her face. So this is the reason why I wanted to experiment with this, because it's kind of a soft light, but it's also a hard light. So it's kind of in the middle of the two. But yeah, you can see the way that I've set the light up. There's no bags under her eyes. There's no panda eyes. You can see, although I'm shooting her from the top, the light modifier is so massive that it's really, really lighting up, giving her a nice look. You can see the nice shadow here. I love that shadow there. It's kind of chiseling it out. And there you go again.
I quite like that shot. That's very impressive.
Yeah, I like this. You can see here on the cheekbones, it's kind of nice and chiseled out in the cheekbones, and it's got that nice dark line underneath the chin, which gives her that nice jawline look for me. So
and
yeah,
that's what you referred to when we were speaking briefly about the high key. Is that where the skin is now literally popping up? That's the high key aspect of it.
Yeah, you can see the skin is quite, you can almost say overexposed. And you can see that it kind of really, there's not a lot of editing that you would do on this, even though it's hard light. You'll find though, if you're shooting with hard light, you are going to have a little bit more editing of the skin just because of how harsh the light is, and it's very unforgiving, a hard light. So you might spend a little bit more time when you're doing editing, but it's worth it for me, It's sometimes not the greatest thing to show the model the photograph out of the camera because it does pick up a lot of blemishes and and stuff that you can't really see with your naked eye. But when you photograph it, and because you've put the light across, it creates those things. So there is a little bit more editing to do. But when you shoot kind of like this, you've got quite a high key feel to it. You can see there's not a whole lot of editing to do here. I like that. I think that engagement with there is brilliant. Beautiful hands. So yeah. We've got that.
So now high key, is that something that you can do in color as well, or is it only something you do in black and white?
Do you want me to do some color photos? Is somebody asking?
No, that was just me wondering.
Yeah. I'll do color, but you know, that would be the choice when we start the shoot. There might be a couple of photographs here that I do in color at the end of the day, but I think what it's doing, the black and white here, is just, for me, is making it exceptionally nice. So
yes, no, let's stick with the black and white. It really looks good.
But ultimately, at the end of the day, it's kind of the choice of the photographer. Okay, so watch out. What we're going to do is let's put on this cap and let's just make a different feel with this. No, let's sit straight up, looking at me. Yeah. No. Okay, so but let's make it kind of like
Drop down.
yeah. Okay, so we put on a cap now. We're going to get a bit of a different feel with this because we're going to because of where the light is we're going to get a nice shadow. Okay, let me change this light around. What's going on here? So, tell me when that middle of that light is in the middle of you. Huh? There. Okay. Is it flat on you as well? Oh, it can come like this, huh? Yeah, like that. Okay. Okay. So you're going to shoot with this cap. It's going to have a little bit of a different feel to it. It's going to cast quite a big shadow over the. Look straight at me now. Yeah. So that looks flippin'. It looks flippin' good.
So you've now changed the light again. You've got it facing it dead on now.
Yeah, I've just moved it. It was about this much off center. So I've just moved it a little bit across so that it's not completely dead center, because when it was fine when she didn't have the cap on, but when she's got the cap on, it's kind of creating a shadow like this. So I've just changed it a bit. So this is what. Okay, let's shoot one with your arm down. Yeah. Look straight at me. I want to get the eyes covered. Yeah, there we go. Okay, I'm going to show you this photo. Okay. So there's the one with the cap. So what I might do here is, if I shot this, I would change it a little bit. I'd kind of really black out the eyes a bit. So yeah, we kind of end up on that sort of, can you see that?
Yes, it looks pretty cool. It's amazing what you can do by just those little sliders left and right.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of a difference in here. I liked the amount. There's quite a lot of light bouncing up from the floor because of the white floor. So it is creating more light underneath the peak of the cap. So in order to do that, I will just darken it down a little bit, and we can play around with that. Let's go and put on the yeah, let's do the turtleneck. Okay, we're going to change it up a bit, get rid of the chair.
Okay, so also just change the screen back so that we can see like what you're doing there now.
Oh yeah, okay, sorry.
It's okay, you're very busy. That's why you have another person.
You're far too clever. Okay.
Hey, now we're talking.
Yeah, so we're going to do a little bit of standing photos here. I think that look quite cool. Come stand about here, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've changed the setup a bit. We've got Molly is going to do some standing poses. We've moved her a little bit across. I'm also going to shoot this sort of portrait-y style. Okay, like everything. There's always, I love that, I love this. You know, whenever I've moved or we've changed poses or changed locations or composition, I always do a quick light check and see, yeah, see, that came out nice. Okay.
So I just want to ask you, Craig, you don't use a light meter at all in your photography?
No, not anymore. I used to use it quite a lot because I came from film. In film, you always had a light meter. So I found the light meter using it today is you get a very generic photo. Okay, so it's, I don't want to knock using light meters because sometimes I do use a light meter just to make sure, especially when I've got different lights and I'm trying to shoot a product, I might use that, but not all the time. I shoot with my eye. So I find that if I'm going to shoot Molly with the light meter, and I'm going to make sure that the f-stop and everything is on f8 and the light and all that. It's a very kind of generic photo that you're going to get. So
yeah, that just doesn't suit your style at all because there's nothing generic about you.
No, so I just wing it. You know, sometimes I think that really looks cool, or okay, I don't like that, or I move the light. There's no recipe for me, okay, when I'm shooting with this stuff. Everything for me. So what I learned here today, shooting with Molly with this Octa with no diffusers, if I like the photographs when I get home, I will then move this setup into one of my paid shoots. So it would then be something else that I can get. So when the client is talking to me and they're saying, you know, we're kind of looking for this kind of a photo, I can go, okay, cool, I'm going to shoot it with a 120 without the baffle. Or I'm going to shoot this with the 90 with the baffle. Or I'm going to shoot this with a 7-inch reflector. So it's always clicking in my mind. I've got no idea what the setting is going to be, what my light setting is going to be, what my power of my strobe is going to be. Am I going to shoot it at 6.3 or f9 or f7.1? I've no idea. I come and I figure it out when I'm in the studio. and I look at either the back of my screen or I'll shoot it tethered to my Lightroom, and then I look at it there and I'm going, do I like that? No, I don't. What can I change? Let me change this. Let me shoot it again. Do I like that? Yes, I like that. So often what happens to me is I will maybe do 3 or 4 or 5 different setups or changes or tweaks to get to where I want to be, and then I will shoot that set. Then what happens to me is somebody will say to me, like 3 weeks down the line, what was your setting? And I actually can't remember. Okay, can't remember what I did. I can't remember what the power of the light was, because I know that I might have changed it maybe 3 times, and I don't know whether I've changed it back. You know, did I start at an 8th and then go to a 16th and then go back to an 8th? Or did I go from an 8th to a 16th to a 32? I can't remember. So that's the downside of the way I work. Okay, you can't ask me down the line, what did you do? I also don't want to remember the stuff. You know, I don't want to come in here and shoot everything at 16th power or at a 1/4 power or at an 1/8 power. You know, sometimes it will be different. So, and I leave it up to when I'm arriving at the studio, when I've got the thought in my mind and what I want to shoot. I do that setup, and it doesn't take me 30 minutes to get my shot. I can do that setup in 5 minutes to get a feel for where I'm going. So I want to show you this photo now quickly. So I thought this came out flippin' great. Okay. So I really, really like this. We've got really, really hard light coming through here, which is very, very nice. So although these lines here on her face are not hard lines, you can see it's a little bit of, you know, it's a little bit smudgy, the dark and the light. And that's because we're shooting with a big Octa. So it's not the hard light that's coming out of a 7-inch reflector. It's just, so it gives that beautiful light. But look how cool this photo looks, man.
And that was just the first one you did after you moved the chair and she changed the top and doof, first shot, and it looks like that.
Yeah, I've changed nothing now. So no settings, no camera settings. The only thing I've changed is I've moved the light, and I've changed my camera from landscape orientation to portrait orientation. And I've shot that.
This also makes sense to me why you would have those presets now, because this gives you a completely different spot from where you launch yourself with the shoot.
Exactly that. So we're going to do a couple of shots like this with a couple of different poses. Just watch with hands up. Okay, so if you put your hands up, you're going to go above this this thing. So kind of hands in here. Yeah. Okay. Okay, it's flipping brilliant. Love it. Love. Love. Love it. Can I get a nice close-up of you? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. 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 Yeah, beautiful eyes. Okay. Love that. Love that. Beaut. Yes. Yes. Yes, I love. Beautiful. Yeah, okay. Okay, those were great, eh? Sure, but. So let's go back and show you. We'll show you exactly what we did. Also very simple. So there we go. We've got that sort of semi-hard light look, but not too hard. And I've already made up my mind about this. This is definitely, oh, hello. Okay. This is definitely a way I'm going to shoot with this Octa. I think that's flipping rad, man.
So you're thinking at this point in time that this little experiment so far has been worth your while today?
Oh, absolutely, yeah, sure. But, you know, it gives a little bit of a different effect. So I was doing a lot of this kind of shoot with the 7-inch reflector. That was sort of my go-to thing, which it worked, and it worked nicely. But this is giving a very different feel to this. I mean, yeah, so check out that.
Sure, no, that's pretty amazing shots, bro.
Yeah, let's see if we can make this. Is that better? Okay, that's flipping great. So far, this is working flipping awesomely well. Okay, how are the questions going there, bud? Are they not so much?
Unfortunately, not so much. We've got a few people viewing. We fluctuate between like 10 and 14, but no questions at the moment, except my own. Okay, so now you're changing the studio again.
Yeah, let's try something else, you know.
Okay, change the screen so we can see what you do.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
That's okay. We knew it this video, we're going to get better.
Yeah, no, listen, I'm like all over the place here. Okay, so we're going to try and see what this is like against the a white background.
So those flags that you're moving around, your black flags that you call them, is that just like a little, like plywood with painted black, or what is that actually?
They're doors.
They're doors.
Yeah. They interior doors that I bought from Builder's Warehouse.
No way, that's impressive.
You know, you got to think out the box, eh? And I've got them on wheels, so you can see they move around quite nicely.
And then you just painted them a specific color, just black?
No, I'm going to move the light up and down. We'll extend and we'll just do that. Sorry, Kerrod?
And you just painted it like a matte black paint?
Yeah, so it's... so if you can see here, the one side is white.
Oh, cool.
And the other side is black. So it's easy to move around and use this blocking and stuff like that, you know? Okay, let's move right here.
Mark a plan.
Ja, ek is mos 'n boer.
I love that about you.
Okay, so this is going to be quite different because the light is a little bit closer to Molly. So I'm sure we're going to have to make a little bit of a change because it's quite bright. Hey, I actually quite like it. Okay, so there you go.
Judging by the two of yours reaction, then it was another great shot by just doing nothing.
Just doing nothing. You see how easy this is, man. Okay. So let me show you what it came out as, and then we can go from there. So you can see that the Octa is making a bit of a shadow here in the corner. Can you see that?
Well,
Okay, so I think there's a lot of people would go like, okay, they don't like it. I like it. So, and as I say, everything is just a personal choice of whatever. Let's do the let's put on the button-up shirt. So everything's like a personal thing, you know what I mean? People will look at this photograph and say, oh yeah, but can't you take that dark patch away from the corner? Yes, you can, you know, you can, if that's what you want. But it's not wrong, you know, for me to do this. So I think everything is like a personal thing. We can't all be trying to shoot the same kind of thing, and we can't always try to be, you know, following the rules so much.
Yeah, and be generic. What I like about that picture is how the shadow that's on the right-hand side of the picture also, like, it's almost the same shape as the inside of her body. That's the bended towards the light.
That's what makes it such a killer shot, you know what I mean? So we'll do a couple of photos like this, see what that does. I'm going to try and shoot with shadow back onto the white background, so we'll see how that comes out. So yeah, we'll do a little bit of experimenting here. Come, I'll do it. Oh, you got it. Okay. Okay, you're in that spot, eh? Yeah. Okay, so we'll do a couple of photos like this, which will look quite awesome, I think. Beautiful. Love that. Love that. Beaut. Oh, wait. Love. Yeah, see. Yo. Okay.
I totally see what you mean by working with, you know, with a model that actually knows what she's doing, because as she changes a pose, you take a picture and you just follow as she needs. That's pretty cool.
So she pretty much understands. She's got a good idea of what she looks like and what her body will look like. Do you understand? You know what I mean? There's a lot of models that you shoot out there that don't really understand what they look like when they're not looking at themselves in the mirror. So she's very comfortable in using her body to convey a message or a story or a pose. And you can see she's obviously, as you heard earlier, Molly does a lot of self-portraits. So she's spent a lot of time, you know, so that's what makes it so easy to work. There's not a lot of communication. Okay, so there's the first photo that we took. That was the test. And then we took some of these. I mean, even that, I love, even though you can see the shadows going through her head there, I think I still like it. I still wouldn't change it. I think it adds a little bit of, it adds value.
Now that you've actually made me aware of that little shadow and the fact that some people might like it and some might not, I'm actually following your suit now as well, because I also quite like that little dead spot there in the corner.
Yeah. It just adds value. And I mean, she's posing perfectly here now with the body. So it's sort of mimicking that arch, like you pointed out earlier.
That's great.
I mean, how's that?
I like that one. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah. Lovely photo.
That's so cool.
Okay.
It works so well with that shadow, and you know, and it's not something that you intended for. It's just something that was there when you took the shot, and now it works.
Exactly that. Okay. So I had no idea. So putting it there, it's like, okay, so that's why I do the test. Shoot the photo, let's see what it looks like. If I didn't like it, I would have made changes. But when I saw it, I thought, hey, listen, it kind of adds value. So, yeah. I think somebody that's working within the rules or trying to create something that's more kind of generic is going to say, okay, maybe let's take that out. But that's what I challenge everybody is like, shoot out the box, man. Let's do if I can get some shadow on you now. So let's move this. So get it a little bit closer to the wall, yeah.
And it's also amazing for me to see how actually you are very non-generic. You just want to do different things and want to see what you can get out of your equipment. And I think that's very important for aspiring photographers to be able to, like you say, do more than one thing with the equipment that you spend good money on.
Exactly. That's what, I mean, we all, you know, photography is not a cheap flippin' thing, man. So you've got to take the stuff that you got and try and use it for many different things. Okay, I just want to see if this is going to make a shadow on you. Okay, so this is interesting. This is an interesting thing. So I'll chat to you about it now. So I'm going to move this a little bit away from me. Are you there? Is it there? Okay, so I'm going to take another photo.
Just getting back to that equipment of yours quickly, it is quite important or much easier for you to use that C-stand if it's got legs and wheels on it.
Yeah, listen. So that also was it's thinking out of the box to try and make my life a little bit easier here, because when you've got that P120 on, plus you've got the 8600, to try and pick it up and move it around is quite hard. So I've made those wheels to fit on the bottom of that thing. It does make it a little bit more unstable. But as long as you are familiar with that, you can really control it well. You can also see today, and for those who watched some of my videos previously, you can see I've got this the sandbag on the end of the boom as a counterweight. Okay, because this is quite a heavy octa. So I try and make it not work so hard. So I've counterbalanced it so it's quite easy to move up and down. Okay, so I want to show you this photo. It's not... Okay, so yeah, I like my shadow work, but I'm not quite sure whether I would use this octa for this kind of a shot, purely because you can see around the shadow here, there's degradation. So there's like, it's white and then it goes gray and then it goes darker gray to then the darkest of gray. And the reason why that is happening is that because the light modifier is so big, okay? Because the light modifier is so, let me change this again so you can see what I'm doing.
So, but now you specifically don't like that one shot with those different types of gray.
No, just me personally. So why is that happening? Is because the light is so big, it's wrapping around Molly. So some of the light is coming around here. And that's why you're seeing that sort of lightish gray on the photograph. And then further in, you're getting a darker gray. So if I'm shooting something like this, I would much prefer it to be a very hard line here. So a very dark shadow and a very distinct shadow, where this is not giving me that, purely because of the massive size of that octa, which is then allowing the light to bounce around her. Okay.
So if you now take the AD300 with that 7-inch reflector and put that there, that will give you the shot that you want.
Yeah, we're going to try that right now. So there, I'm just going to show you that again, so you can see how that is working. So there's that sort of light gray because of its bouncing right around. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, so the two things you can do here is either just change the reflector or the diffuser on the light, or just change the light. So this is B. Which way?
It's going to be interesting to see, because there's a huge difference between what we can see from this side, between the size of the 300 and the massive 120 that you just used.
Check there.
Hey, that's ridiculous how small that is.
That's right. Eh? Okay. Maybe you need to move a little bit away from there. So come this way. So there. How's that? Okay. Is it? Let me aim it down a bit more. Yeah, better. Eh? Okay, it's going to be quite. Okay, so we've changed everything. So we're going to have to just relook at. So that's sitting at a quarter. I very much doubt whether it's going to be a quarter. So we're going to do another test. Oh, okay, we're going to look flipping razzed. I love that. Okay. Maybe I can leave it. Maybe a 16th. Okay, better, eh? Okay, look. Okay, now I'm going to show you a big difference here in what we've done. So let me just can this photo. Okay, so this was the high key shot with the shadow play with the 120 Octa, and then this is the one with the 300. So you can check. Look at the shadows.
A huge of a difference.
Okay, so maybe we can in this one we can just increase this a bit. Okay, so look at the difference here. Look at the shadow there. And look at the shadow there.
Yeah, that second shot is so much better because now you have a proper defined shadow.
Yeah. And that's the reason I said to you, it's not something that I would go and do now because this looks a little bit washed out and not really. So if I'm going for the shadows on the wall, then I kind of want the shadows on the wall. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely, because now at least it's something that enhances the shot, where the previous one, that gray just dilutes it.
Yeah. Okay, let's do some photos like this. Okay, so what we're going to do here, I think, is
change the screen.
Let's make some like things on the wall. Let's just try that.
Mr. Anderson.
Yo. Oh.
That's it. Press the button. I saw you were making it do one of those Mr. Miyagi-san poses now.
I was doing, yeah. Okay, let me just get a setting for you. Okay, wait. Let me just see what this looks like. Yeah. That is so cool, eh? Okay, this is working amazingly. Okay, so now what we've got is we've got a nice shadow now. So I like this very hard shadow. So for me then, when you've got a nice shadow like this, you will use it. So what I've asked Marty to do is kind of make shapes with her body, and then those shapes will then sort of transpose onto the wall. Love it. Love. There we go. Love. Love. Okay. So yeah, you can see, where did we start? Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay, so these are also quite cool. So now we're starting to use the shadow in the photo. So we're creating like nice shapes with the shadow part of it, which is quite nice. I like that. I like that. Okay. I think that's brilliant. So what do you think of that with the 300? Eh? Not bad.
I can't believe that you're only using that 300 with that 7-inch reflector and you get those type of quality shots.
Yeah, listen, and I'm shooting at a 16th power, right?
At a 16th.
At a 16th. And I'm getting pictures like that, which is quite amazing. Let's try this.
Okay, so I see you're up to something there again. Press that button so we can see what you're doing.
Okay. Yes, you're on my case, eh?
Yeah.
Let's do the black. Yeah. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this 300 on the other C stand. I love these reflectors there.
So now you've changed the angle of the light again, so you're going to be throwing light from right in front of her again.
So I'm going to shoot it like straight flat in front of her face. So Previous one, we shot a little bit kind of from the side so we can get the shadows thrown onto the wall. Come a little bit closer to me. Yeah. Well, yeah, no, not yet. I just want to see what this looks like. So we'll also
and the
just check.
300 is a perfect little light that you don't have to worry too much about the counterweights there. It works like with that C-stand.
Oh, yeah, no, listen, it's perler, man.
You know, it's terrible when you have that reaction and you've done one shot. You took one picture and you're like, ooh, this is going to be so hot.
This, mate.
Yeah, that's really
Hey?
Oh, my word. How awesome is that?
Yeah, look, man. I think that's rad.
That is really, really cool.
Very cool. Sherbet. Okay. So before you moan at me, let me change that.
So glad you're getting right there with the mix now.
Let's go a little bit higher. Is that just a... Is that at you?
No. Can I?
Yeah. Sorry. There, like that.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. I've just raised this up a bit. I just want to see what this looks like. It's going to be a little bit of a... slightly different look. Okay, look at that. Eh? So what we've got is, look how much more your face gets chiseled. Eh?
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to show you what we've done. Let's share. So this was the first shot which we took. So the light was a little bit more sort of in line with the top of her head. And then this shot, I shot from a lot higher up and shooting down at her. And immediately you could see the different shape in the face, where you can start seeing how the shadows are now chiseling out those cheekbones. Okay. And that gives you that kind of like, that look. And just remember now, hey, Molly, there's no makeup here. We're shooting with no makeup. So you can start creating these lines. So when the girls put their makeup on, they are creating these contour lines of their cheekbones and their jaw and stuff like that. So Molly's got no makeup on. And just by using the light and positioning of the light, I can start creating these lines that you would want to do in front of a mirror. So, you know, it's all about how you're using your light. I'm gonna make this higher and let's see how we can go. Okay, is that right? Okay, so we've moved it up another foot again. Is there people watching?
Foot.
Are there still people watching?
Yeah, I'm watching. Yes, we have 11 people that's watching us. So that's cool. Thanks, guys, for sticking it out with us. We do appreciate that. But you're making it look very easy there, Mr. Anderson.
Yeah, it's my Godox lights, man. Okay, so it's a little bit further away from you, which is making it a little bit softer, which is quite nice. Let's do a not a chin up, but a chin, yeah, like that. So I'll see how it's gonna chisel that cheekbone of yours. So have a look at this now. So I've moved the light up about a foot higher again, and look at that. So yeah, there is a little bit of a light drop off because of the lights moved away about a foot further away from Molly, so it's not as bright as that photo. But look how that light is now starting to chisel into that cheek bone now, even more so. I can make it a little bit lighter like that. Okay. I mean, that's brilliant, man. I think, anyway.
So if you were just now quickly think about the last like 50 shots that you took of Molly, how many of these do you think are shots that you now would use in a publication or have printed for whatever?
So we've shot today 85 photos. So when I shoot, let's say there's going to be maybe.
Okay, wait, Craig, stop there. We're losing the sound a bit. Just try move the microphone forward again.
My
there we go. There we go. You're back.
Just give me a second.
I'm assuming you're changing batteries, maybe?
Yeah. Is that better?
Much better.
Yeah. I think the battery in that was going thing. Hey, do you know any place I can get batteries?
I know someone here that works with me. I'm sure we can ask them for some batteries for you.
Yeah, you know what? I think I'm looking for a really good battery to use, you know, so if you can recommend something.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We can recommend the Maxell and the Duracell batteries. Those are amazing things.
Okay, so you asked me about how many photos. So when you're working with somebody like Molly, there's normally ends up quite a lot of photos that you kind of can use. So we've shot 85 photos in the session. I would imagine there's between 60 and 70 photos that would make the first cut. But in the end of the day, we can get really, really critical about the photo. So we would then mine it down to maybe 10 images that we will get out of today. But then we will be looking at each of those photos like really, you know, is this photograph good enough to put forward? So,
okay, that's amazing. So that brings it to like 10 shots in an hour and 20 minutes. That doesn't sound too bad, but that's now before you start to do editing.
Yeah.
All right,
so that'll
be cool if you've done that.
Out of these 85 shots, we'll cut it down to 70 or 60 or 70. I would then pick maybe 10 between, let's say 10 and 15 photos out of those. And then it's those ones that I edit. And then we'll take those forward. And then those will get sent to Molly. And then we will decide what we're going to do with them.
Okay, that's amazing. Well, once you've done that and she's given the go-ahead, maybe you can post a few of those pictures once they've been touched up and everything online so people can see what the end product is.
Okay, so yeah, what I'll do is if anybody wants to watch this edit, so I will, if we get enough response, I will do a live edit on maybe 1 or 2 of these images next Saturday. But people can just leave comments at the bottom of this video and say if they want to watch, and then I will keep 2 images for us to edit, and then I'll just take them from start to finish, and then they can watch and then see the end product if that's what they want.
That'll be amazing. I think that'll be great to see how you do it and how you reach the final product. But then we have to wait a week for those shots. Will we survive?
Well, you can see if you look at the photos here, I mean, pretty much, let me share this. I mean, if we just take this photo, for example, I want this go into, can you see that?
Yes, sorry, I was replying to Innocent. He's also logged in just now and watching us online. Thank you, Innocent. Yeah, I see the picture.
Yeah, listen, man, you know, there's not a lot you have to do to this photo. So it's not going to be a very, very long, intense edit. You know, if you get the lighting set up right, you get your exposure set up correctly, you get the look that you want, you communicate well with your model, you're both on the same page. You know, to get the photo at the end of the day is pretty much out of the camera, you know. So most of the work is done when you do the shoot or in your preparation for the shoot. And when I mean preparation, it means deciding on the lights, deciding on your exposure, deciding on the power of the light, deciding on what diffuser you're going to use, deciding with the model what the look is going to be, what the mood you're wanting to do, what type of photographs you want to get. Once you've done all of that work, to take the photograph, if you've done it all correctly, you'll get a photograph like you're seeing on the screen. And then you take it home, and there's a minimal amount of editing that you would do or you would need to do to it. So, like I always say, you know, everything is in the preparation of your shoot. I mean, there you can go straight into like a color photo.
That beach light also is a very interesting feel that it gives that photo, eh?
Yeah, so it needs a bit of tweaking.
It's amazing how the clothing coloring is coming different through a different, like a different blue and a different black when you change it like that.
Yeah, so I've color graded this photo. So you can see that actually looks quite nice. And how long did that take, you know? So, but you'll see there's a minute bit of work that I would want to do on this photo. But yeah, we can all do that. You know, I can show you what I would do and how I would get to where I want to get to and decide whether we'll do. So maybe next week we'll do one color photo and one black and white photo. So if the guys want to watch,
sounds like a plan.
If they want to watch, just let them leave a message at the bottom of the screen or at the bottom of the video to say they're keen, and then we can announce it for next Saturday.
Okay, great stuff. We'll ask our friends out there. So if anyone, like Craig says, is interested to see how he does his presets and all his magic little slider of sliders, then please let us know and we can get him to show us all those magic tricks that he's taught himself to do.
Okay. Thanks, man. So I think we've pretty much done for this little session. Thank you to Molly for sitting and being so awesome, like always. So yeah, thanks guys for joining, and I hope you learned something from this. Yeah, even if you're watching after the fact, if there's questions you want to ask, please just ask them at the bottom of in the comments, and then hopefully I will get back to you and answer those questions. And then guys, again, I can't emphasize this enough. If there is something that you're wanting to see, then please drop us a line or make a note or put it in the comments somewhere. these are the kinds of things we want to see live, or we want to do workshops or stuff like this, like we're doing today, let us know. And then I suppose if Gerard agrees, we can do more of these things. But really, it's kind of up to you guys, you know. I'm happy to make the time if you are willing to sort of help out and decide on the things that you're wanting to see. So there's a challenge for you guys. Yeah.
Great stuff. That's amazing. Well, Craig and Molly, thank you so much, guys. I really enjoyed our session today. It's amazing to see how the two of you interact and how you operate as a team. And guys, those of you that joined us, thank you so much. And then we will definitely be getting back to you in the week and let you know what the next item is we're going to be doing. Thank you for your time. Have yourselves an amazing weekend. Ciao.
Cheers, guys. Thanks for watching.